This is how I am going to get 100,000 subscribers in the next 6 months. Now, the title might throw you off. You might think, sure, bro, like everybody else wants to. But I'm telling you, once you figure certain things out and it just makes sense, then you have to just hit the ground running. So right now, I'm about to add something into my software which is going to allow me to do my scripted show format. So I actually came up with this news show about, I think it was about 2 years ago. Yeah, 2 years ago. And I know it's 2 years ago because some of the products that I talked about in the video, in the little ad reads, they were from 2 years ago, right? Because it was iPad apps and stuff that I'd started out with. But the reason why I'm adding this to Intelligent Unk channel is because that's where it should live. And I've been trying different formats for the past, I would say 6 years at least, 5 years at least, since 2021. I've tried cooking, I've tried like travel vlogs, I've tried like just general how-tos, and all these different styles I've been trying. I've been trying to figure out like what's my vibe, like what's the thing that suits me as a creator. And I found that when I just get into the flow state and I just tap into everything that makes me who I am, that's when the best content comes out. Like, I'll be honest, that's when the best content comes out. I feel a lot more relaxed, even just talking to you in this way. I switch up the angle in the studio office. I'm trying different things. I got the natural light. It's raining, but the sun's still coming through the clouds. I don't have my light on, right? It's not a perfect shot, but it works. And it just allows me to speak to fellow YouTubers, script writers, thumbnail editors, right? Producers, title strategists, all the people who I'm trying to serve with my business. It gives me an opportunity to speak to you. And I've found that when you really lock in on that, a lot of things just start to like go your way, if that makes sense. But when I was listening back to my new show, I did like a pilot season and I did about, I think it was 6 episodes. And the only reason why I stopped, the only reason, it wasn't because I procrastinated, because I just gave up. It was literally because the time it was taking me to produce 17 minutes was about 17 hours worth of pre-production time, or just general production time overall. And at the time, I was working with a corporate client, an investment firm in London, and I just didn't have the time. I just did not have the time to produce my own show and then produce their show and then, do all their creative strategy. So I kind of like parked it on the side, but it's probably the best content that I made in the past 5 years. If I was to look at all the content styles that I've done, like this talking, vlog type content, this is like easy for me. I'm a yap, so I can just put the camera on, turn the mics on, make sure they're on, and just yap, right? And just have a conversation and communicate. But however, the new show, when I listen to it, I'm like, oh man, this is like bringing out my personality even more in this format. And even though I'm like suited and booted, which I also love, even though you see me in the black, Steve Jobs attire, right? Dripped out jobs is what I call it. Um, Even though I'm suited and booed, I still like playing a character, and I actually really love that. And as I'm hearing like the lines throughout the script, because the whole thing is scripted word for word, so it allows me to put in ideas and insights and values in a way which isn't so like dry and guru maxing or unk maxing even, right? Because people learn in different ways. I learn in different ways, so it would only make sense to like teach in different ways to appeal to the same people I'm trying to reach, but in a way that, in a tone that they can understand and appreciate. Because I find that once you've found that correct tone, then you're off to the races. And I know with that format, which you'll be excited once you've seen it and you'll know what I'm yapping about. But once you experience it, or once I produce more, like the next season, I think I'm going to have a huge spark on this channel. Like, I genuinely believe that the channel needed this to live here. Like it really needed another format within the context of what I'm trying to explain, because I realized that although I've experienced and know things, I don't know everything. And I'll be the first to say that YouTube specifically, I don't know everything about it, because I've been monetized once. That was years ago on a music channel, and I wasn't even doing all of this, education maxing to even get that. It was a different time then. But even then, I just don't know everything about the platform. That's the honest truth. I know a lot. Don't get me wrong. I do know a lot from a creative strategist standpoint and analysis standpoint. But, it's always difficult when you're doing stuff for yourself, because you're looking at it through a different lens as opposed to when you're working for somebody else and, giving ideas and being strategic for them. Because I can see things for other people sometimes a lot easier than I could see it for myself, which is annoying. But I think the more I tap into listening to myself and my spirit, that's when I really get the gems for myself on my own channel. And as I've been, experimenting with different styles, I generally have found that the things that give me the most enjoyment is like comedy. It's a combination of comedy, intelligence, strategy, all kind of baked into one. And that's what the news channel or the news show, which I created, it was called Brilliant Markets. I'm going to change the name because obviously Colossian, and it will be something Colossian. I'll let you know soon, or you'll just see it. But that combination for me just makes the most sense. I'll be honest, it makes the most sense. It's funny. I like it. I'm excited even speaking about it, you can probably tell, to get writing. And I'm building a teleprompter inside of Colossian as well. So previously I used the Elgato, but we're going full Colossian, and there will be a teleprompter inside of the software, which I do believe will be an even more useful tool for other YouTubers who start to subscribe and use the software that I've built, because it's a full stack system, right? But system aside, when you tap into the things that you believe internally that you should be doing as a creator, you're going to be off to the races. You won't be thinking about it so deeply. You'll just get to work and lock in. And when it becomes easy and it just flows, and don't get me wrong, it will benefit you, but don't get me wrong, 17 hours worth of production for a 70-minute episode is a lot of work. And I'm setting myself a goal. I'm not going to do one episode a week. My goal is to do 2 episodes a week, Monday and Friday. So even just saying it out loud, I'm like, bro, how are you going to do that? But I'll find a way. I'm going to do 2 episodes. It's 17 minutes, so it's 30 minutes, roughly 32 minutes of content every single week. And because it's news-based, there's so much going on in the world, especially in the creator economy, that there's an abundance of content. All these memes, jokes, tech news. And I have a format already, which is what I'm going to be doing a live stream on soon. And I'll also be doing a 5-day workshop called the Colossian Creator Challenge. And the whole premise of it is to challenge you, if you're a thumbnail editor, if you're a producer, title strategist, thumbnail designer, whatever, or even just a creator yourself. I want to challenge you on the systems that you have in place, because I genuinely believe that if you got the right systems in place, you will be able to create more content. And more importantly, you'll be able to create more content that is going to set your heart on fire in a good way. It's going to uplift your spirit. It's going to make you produce more that can essentially blow up your channel and obviously generate more revenue. So Colossian, that's what it does. I'll be walking you through the software. I'll be using case studies. So if I do get a good batch of people on the first, sign up, then I'll essentially be doing a lot of audits, and you can ask any questions about your channel, about your business, about your tech stack, about the strategy in your business, because I've noticed that a lot of people who reach out to me on DMs just don't have any sales experience. So we've got tools for that as well. And if you're lucky, you might get some freebie softwares, which are, in the region of $1,000 a year. But these are systems that will help you in your cold outreach if that's the direction that you want to take. So it's kind of like I'll be unveiling the behind the scenes of Intelligent Unc and my business and my operations. And I'll show you the tools that I use that allows me to make an hour and a half worth of video every single day and still post 20 times a day on LinkedIn, 5 shorts on YouTube, maybe a few Instagram reels, so on and so on. So if that does sound like something of interest to you, then I'll leave a description below. You can join the wait list. I'm looking at some dates in September, but you can join the wait list. It will be linked in the description below. If you want to have a demo call and you want to get an early preview already of Colossian or join the community, then you can just subscribe now. It's open, it's available to you. I'll even put in a code for you because I'm doing an offer, which is 3 months, $10 each month. The usual price per month is $200, but for the next 90 days, to allow you to build and invest in yourself without having a crazy expense, and to prove that my software is as good as I say it is, you only have to pay a total of $30, $10 a month. I cannot be more generous than that. Literally $10. So there should be no excuses with that. That's if you want to actually win and get your 100K plaque. That's what I'm working on. So there you go. So I'll leave those links in the description below. You're smart enough to figure that out if it's something for you. If I don't have enough trust minutes with you, which is how I track that on Colossian, then that's fine. I'll see you on the next video. But I will be doing a live stream probably at some point today, usually around 5:30 GMT, which is about 12 p.m., 12:30 EST. And we'll be unpacking a lot of these things. But yeah, appreciate you locking in, and just do what makes sense for you. See you on the next one. Oh, and watch this video.